Hey Sagittarius, and welcome to your Aries season April reading. Thank you again for your patience last month. This month I wanted to still give you another taste of what's happening in your life, and a little earlier than usual. There's already some cards falling out. Before we get into that, all information to work with me one-on-one is below, as well as the extended versions of these readings will be in a link below. These are, I think they're wonderful, especially if you're looking for a little bit more. I've been doing my best to dive a little bit deeper into the body parts that each sign and planet are related to, or systems of the body, because I think that it's really crazy how literal it can be sometimes, and the body is my jam. So that's the stuff I like to learn about, aside from all of this. So just check that out if you like, and if you do like this video, I ask that you like, subscribe, send it to someone, because that's like always the best. I always send things that I really like of other people to people I think that would maybe benefit from it, like it, or watch it whenever they're ready. Just a thought. But let's get into it. We have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, the Page of Swords, the Queen of Swords in reverse, and wow, lots of swords. Then we have the Ten of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands. But let's start off here with the swords. This obviously has to do with communication and money. Even more, well, which is so interesting, because yesterday, Venus went into Gemini, which, side note, I'll be doing a video for all the Venus transits, and that will be on my Patreon as well, but I'll put previews on YouTube. I haven't done this one yet, but I will get it done, because I do want to talk a little bit about Taurus as well, because I didn't get a chance to do that, and that's one I really wanted to do, because it is ruled by Venus. But I'm going to put it together in one video, and then every month when it transits, we will have more. And again, I'll get more into the body parts and every sign. But let's get back to this, which makes a lot of sense. Venus just went into Gemini yesterday. And I think a part of you feels like, first of all, you're a natural money magnet. However, if there's a part of you that's being a little immature with your money, or a little immature with how you make money, and you're not, and if you're taking it for granted ever, and it's not about what you're saying, it's about your actions, because there's something just not adding up here. There's a part of you that really does want to create more boundaries and mature in this way. However, you're not taking maybe advice that you should, from someone who has maybe been in your position before, or sees something that you don't. You can learn, though, and you have this opportunity to learn. I think Venus and Gemini is the perfect time, because it doesn't feel as heavy when we're in Venus and Gemini, because we already have Mars in Cancer, and we're getting enough of that wave and that heaviness. But once you get into Mars or Venus in Gemini, it's a little bit easier. It'll be a little bit easier to communicate about these things. And if you don't know how, it's really important that you just start with that. If there's someone that you need to talk to about it, whether it's professional or it's like your literal partner, person you live with, whoever it is that you need to have this conversation with, I'd say that you can start out by saying, hey, this just isn't my strong suit. I'm going to do my best to listen. But whatever, so also something to be aware of. This is something that I love and I think can really benefit you, and this is why it's coming up. Sorry, I'm so fidgety today. Is that when you do start to talk about these things, or these things come to your mind, notice what comes to your mind next. Notice how you feel. What comes to your mind when you start talking about this? Are you feeling resistant? Are you feeling open? Are you feeling like you don't know? Are you feeling tired because you're taking in new information? Does this bring you back to your childhood, or to a different relationship, or something in your life where it just started to shift and change, and it just made things harder for you? For some of you, this is just about bouncing back. or a mindset. For some of you, it's literal action and communication, but for others of you, it's about your mindset. It's about really focusing on what can bring you more instead of seeing whatever's happening in your life as a drain. It's about opening up more to that kind of mentality, because no matter how old you are, and I know I'm still kind of young-ish in terms of age, if we're talking about 100, 0 to 100, but it's always a good time to start. Because if that's what's on your mind, and if it triggers you in some type of way, there's something there. There's something there that's ready to be awakened, ready to be opened, and there's something to be acknowledged, I'd say. Sorry, just finding the great placement here. All right. Okay, not that that's as important. Because what you're looking for is to get out of and away from and take what you've learned from where you were and where you are and take it where you're going next. But it's also about learning to understand that at the end of it, at the brink of it, you're responsible for this. You're responsible for what you choose to, how you choose to utilize this information, how you choose to be disciplined, right? It doesn't have to be hard. You can make it like a game. You know, you can make anything like a game, as you know. And you have this opportunity right now to make it just like a game, and to give that to yourself, because that's giving yourself time instead of thinking like this is taking away my time where I could be doing something else or whatever. It's at first it can be hard, but then it's something that can become important to you. Again, a queen coming up, because this is about being in control and not looking away from what you actually can control. Because what happens with you guys sometimes, or with anyone really, and I'd say Aries season has a lot of control, the pattern of control in every reading to some extent, is that you recognize what you can and can't control at this point. So if you can control this, or your mind, or how you're utilizing money, or how you look at money, how you look at new ideas, how you look at communication, both of those things. It's not just about communicating about money, but communication in general, and being honest, or being upfront about certain things, and you have a hard time with it. This is a great time to do that. Gemini is so Venus is in your opposite sign. So of course it's going to expose things and make things maybe feel and appear a little bit worse than they are. But that's only for your betterment going into Taurus season, because that will become very heavy if you can't have these specific conversations or these specific understandings of what you want. Because if you want to build something, you can't just say, this is what I want to do, but then look the other way. You can't just say, I want to build, I want to have more, I want to have a legacy or a lineage, I want to be able to create substantial like financial wealth, or I want to be able to create a family, or I want to be able to attract these things, but then we have the queen looking away. Well, you have to be able to look at these things and communicate about them if you're going to step forward to them. You can't just say that and then look away. That can happen if there's intention in there, if there's any insecurity there. Those things need to be looked at before you just set it down and look away and let it build. Because that can work, but you need your essentials. Anything that you're doing, like if you're putting something out there on, like anything you put out there, create even, you just let it go, right? But you've already done that work. You can't just say, I want to do this and this and this with money, but then when the opportunities to present themselves are these conversations and these different things for you to hash out what's going on, those are presenting themselves because that was your intention. That's what you want. This is what you want. So then when those things come your way and you avoid them, you're telling the universe that's not really what you want. Everything has an undertone. It just depends on, with each sign, we like talking about certain things other than like as opposed to other things. It's very true. What I've found. But this is something that's a very central, like a lot of people can struggle with this. You're not the only one. You're not alone. So if you can be open with it, you'll recognize, and you may even find out that you are not alone. And Virgo is coming up in everyone, or these cards are coming up, especially the Hangman are coming up a lot. The best thing you can do, and what the cards are saying, is that if you're resisting looking at that right now, just sit with it. You don't have to have an answer. You just need to become aware of what's trying to get to you, because we have the light and the light, right? This is the subconscious. You need to hang out in order for the light to be brought to you. And then you're open, and then you're awakened to it. But if you're out looking for the light and your eyes are closed, it's people saying that, like, they want to date, but their heart's closed. They want to fall in love, but their heart's closed, and they're not, putting themselves out there in any specific way. You don't have to, put yourself out there all the time, but you need to be able to have a conversation with someone if you see them and you seem interested, or do whatever else, other opportunities you can do to meet someone. Same thing. So this is a very Venusian reading for you, where you are being given the chance to understand that this isn't going to be forever, but this is something that, if not addressed, so for some of you, there could have been a time where this was easier for you, where it didn't seem so hard, or it didn't seem so foreign. Just tap back into that for those of you, because I'm sure there are Sages out there who love this conversation and love money, right? Love being involved with this and the transactions of it all. But then there are definitely some who would just rather avoid what it is they need to grow, or say one thing and do another. So that's like what's happening here. And I don't mean to read you so much, but the beauty of this, which I love to say, it's just a very natural thing I love to say, it's not just about being Venusian, that you can, if you don't want to take a look at all of it because it can feel overwhelming, then don't. Just take it step by step. There could be someone in your life who literally shows up, says everything you're feeling, and it makes you, and out of nowhere, like they just say everything that you're feeling about what you're feeling, and they're just like, wow, like I really relate to that. Whether you acknowledge that to them or not, but then you realize that you're not the only one. You're not the only one that goes through certain things in this way, right? This is just a time of, like, if you want more in a certain way, then you're going to need to let go of certain things. You're going to need to understand that that's a part of the process. It doesn't mean it's lost forever, gone forever. It just means that there's more to come. It just means that it's on its way. It just means you're clearing out. You can't just go buy furniture if you already have some. You got to get rid of some furniture, right? Unless you just want couches everywhere, tables everywhere. I mean, to each their own. But if you're looking for, if this is about what I see it's about, then take what you've learned from the places and the situations that you've been. Don't be opposed to a little bit of help. Get that help that you need. Because you can say all you want, but there still needs to be a little bit of each step matters. Each step counts. And you'll be able to understand that and see that, because what comes to light in these moments of, I don't want to stay, it's not stillness, but moments of leisure, moments where you're integrating, moments where you're just taking your time, being more compassionate, you usually get the answers that you want, right? Usually this comes up and with ease, and it's easier digestible. And we'll get more into that, because Virgo is the digestion system. So it's easier to digest when you just, I know you're broad picture most of the time, but I think Hangman and Hermit are here to say, let's narrow the view right now. We're in Aries season. If you think too much, it's going to become overwhelming. You're going to end up burning everything down, which is very valid, Sag. No worries. Go watch the Gemini video if you want to see that. But this is about really narrowing the view right now for your own benefit, especially for the next 6 months throughout, because we are in eclipse season. Okay? You're closing some things up and opening up new. It's not all bad, but it's worth taking a look at the view. Okay? We'll see you next month. All information is below again. Thank you for being here, and happy spring.